Okay, in this formula, in this video, we will investigate the vertex of a quadratic. So in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. Why is that important? Because I just created another video in which we talked about transformations of a parabola, a quadratic, and if it's already in this vertex form, I don't want to do more work and expand it and go back to use this formula. Okay, so I included all three of these examples in another video. I encourage you to watch that one. And we know on this one, just like I said in the last video, that it opens down, opens wider because the 1/2, and it went left 3 and up 4, right? The whole parabola was shifted, transformed in that direction. So why have this then? Well, completing the square, I ended with this example here in the last video, and completing the square is a bit tedious, and a minor mistake could throw off the whole thing. I mean, that's always true, but my experience is the higher in math I get, my mistakes tend to be in arithmetic, not the actual algebra or whatever subject I'm in. So let's take a look how to use this formula. I also would like to point out negative b over 2a should look familiar. Right? We have a quadratic formula, x equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So what I want to point out really quick, this gives us the solutions. This gives us the zeros of a quadratic. But notice this negative b over 2a, that gives us the x coordinate for the vertex. The plus minus, if I am on a graph and I have some vertex, right, and say it opens down, I guess we could have looked at the one on the left, but that's all right. From this vertex, negative b over 2a, I'm going to add b squared minus 4ac, the square root of that, to get to here. But then if I subtract it, I'll find this 0. So from the vertex, the zeros are symmetric. And sometimes you get an imaginary, right? Say this thing opened up instead. It actually wouldn't have x-intercepts. We would do the quadratic formula and get two solutions that are imaginary. Okay. The point is that negative b over 2a isn't a coincidence. It is part of the quadratic formula in which you should have learned. So looking at this, same as before, right? Ax squared, so a is 1, so same as used in the quadratic. B is 2, c is 6, but I don't need c when I'm finding the vertex. So to get your x coordinate, you do negative b over 2a, negative 2 over 2 times 1. Okay, x is negative b over 2a. So negative 2 over 2, right, is just negative 1. The confusing part of this is just the way that's written. It says f of negative b over 2a. Well, all that means is negative b over 2a gave us 1, or negative 1, right? So we do f of negative 1. What does that mean? It just means plug in negative 1 for x. Okay, all that is saying is whatever you get, plug it in the equation. So f of negative 1, we'd have 1 squared, which is negative 1 squared, which is 1, minus 2 plus 6, so we get 5. So therefore, the vertex is negative 1, 5. And therefore, without completing the square and finding the shift in the transformation, I know it was shifted left 1, up 5. Now, this function opens up, right? So without more formulas, we could kind of picture negative 1 up 5 opens up, right? That means the axis of symmetry is 1, x equals 1, negative 1, sorry. right? It's whatever that vertical line that creates a mirror image reflects across that. And I know this has a min. The minimum is 5. The min is 5 when x equals -1. So all of the information we got from completing the square can be done this way as well. Sometimes completing the square might be easier. Sometimes if it's horrendous like this last example, I would rather just use this vertex formula, -b/2a. So let's do this one. X equals -b, b is 5, right? -5 over 2a. A is -1/2. So we get -5 over 2 times -1/2 is -1, which is 5, positive 5. So now we have to substitute 5 in, f of 5, right? Plug that in, -1/2 times 5 squared plus 5 times 5 minus 8. So that's 25 -1/2 times 25 plus 25 minus 8. So these two we can combine to 17, -25 over 2 plus 17. We need an LCD, so multiply by 2 over 2. 34 minus 25 is 9, right? This is 34 over 2 minus 25 over 2. So we get 9 over 2, 9/2. So therefore the vertex is x is 5, y is 9/2. The axis of symmetry is x equals 5. And it's going to be a max because it's negative, right? So I know it opens down. So the max is 9/2 when x is 5.